Things are going to time out just right weather-wise after one snowstorm, another one coming, but we're ready for UConn basketball on SNY. It will be a full house at Gamble Pavilion for the 11th annual Play for K game. Pink, the color of the day, 99, the number of the day, as UConn looks to extend their winning streak against SMU. The last time the Huskies faced SMU was January the 14th in Dallas, the historic 91st consecutive win for UConn. 88-48 was the final. Double-doubles for Gabby Williams and Nafisa Collier. Katie Lou Samuelson led the way for UConn with 28 points, and the celebration was on in Dallas. UConn breaking their own winning streak. They had won 90 in a row, make it 91 with that victory in Dallas, and now it's 98 and counting as they come here to Stores. Welcome everybody, I'm Eric Freed, to be joined in just a couple of seconds by Megan Como. Katie Lou Samuelson is UConn's leading scorer, but it turns out she has not felt great the last couple of weeks, and the numbers show that. Her three-point numbers are down at 28% over the last 5 games. However, even though she did not practice yesterday, she's been a full participant here today at shoot-around and in pregame warm-ups, and we expect to see the sophomore on the court here today. Her classmate, Nafisa Collier, is on a remarkable run right now with how she's shooting the basketball. A perfect 10 for 10 last time out at Cincinnati. And after that game, Gino Auriemma was almost speechless.
It's just incredible what she can get done in a short period of time. She is just incredibly efficient. You're absolutely right. She gets great shots. There isn't anything on the offensive end. I mean, I knew she was good, obviously, when I saw her play in high school, but the improvement that she's made from last year to this year is just absolutely remarkable. I mean, she's playing about as well as anybody in the country at this point.
Unstoppable the last 5 games, shooting 78% from the field, and in the last 3 games, 32 of 37. I did the math, that's 86%. Joined now by Megan Como. I ask you a simple question. How does she do it?
Wow. Well, you know, efficiency, yeah, we see the way she shoots the ball so well. But what I'm amazed by is her efficiency of movement. She does not waste any time on the floor with her footwork, the way she runs the floor. She does the little things well. Look how big of a target she becomes. If she doesn't put her hands like that, up like that, I don't think Samuelson sees her. Catch, watch this, 1 second from when she catches and puts it right up. She wastes no time with the basketball. Now she does it inside. She also does it on the outside. Look at that. The defender is far away from her. You can see the distance there. She could drive if she wanted, but instead, less than a second, 0.75. She jacks that shot up so quickly. Obviously, incredible skills she came into college with. She's worked incredibly hard since she's gotten here, and I would say not only is she playing outstanding basketball, but her confidence is through the roof right now.
And the team continues to win. It's a good day to be on campus for a tour here because we have quite the event going on inside Gamble Pavilion. UConn goes for 99 in a row next on SNY. A big crowd here at Gamble Pavilion on a Saturday afternoon, and they have brought the noise, they've brought the energy. UConn provided the pink pom-poms for the color. It's going to be a great afternoon here, and you can see it's tough to find an empty seat in this building right now, as the fans have come out to watch UConn try to win their 99th consecutive game. Here are today's starting lineups presented by Subaru. Kiara Perry, Mackenzie Adams, Alicia Froling, Morgan Bolton, Claire Bradshaw, Stephanie Collins. Collins getting the start. Bradshaw, redshirt senior, will come off the bench. Froling, the leading scorer and rebounder, and the familiar 5 for the top-ranked Huskies. Ready for basketball. Kevin Pentel, Bob Enderline, Tiara Cruz, our officiating crew. SMU in the road blue. They win the opening tip, and we're underway here at Gamble. Froling, one of the better post players in the American. SMU does have size between Froling, who's 6'3", Collins, who's 6'5", Bradshaw off the bench is 6'6". Take a look at Gino Auriemma's got the pink tie. I believe they're auctioning off that pink tie after the game.
Yes, they do that every year on this game.
I may put in a bid because I like it.
Well, and if you remember, he hasn't worn a tie all year.
That's true.
Wonder how his neck feels.
This is Morgan Bolton. Back to Perry. 4 on the shot clock. Down to 2 on the shot clock. I don't know if Adams realized it. Now she does. Caught iron, and Gabby Williams has the rebound. Williams will turn and score. Gabby's averaging 12.5 a game, 4th on the team.
And that's a tough matchup for Collins at 6'5", and Williams made her pay by not putting pressure on the ball. She'll knock down that 16-footer.
UConn in their special home white jerseys with the pink trim. Batted around and grabbed by Sanderson.
Another acrobatic rebound by Williams.
Collier has it knocked out of her hand. She was fouled. Well, he's got the pink tie and he's got the pink soles on the shoes.
Got it going on.
And he also has an empty spot next to him on the bench because Chris Daly is not with the team here today. She is attending a family wedding, so if we know CD well enough, she probably has snuck her phone into the ceremony and she's watching us right now, so enjoy the wedding.
Absolutely,
and
enjoy.
Congratulations to the bride and groom.
Absolutely. It's good to choose that family over this family. It's the right one to choose on a day like today. Celebrate that wedding.
Now, if the wedding was scheduled for this coming Monday,
well, different story.
maybe she would just send a gift.
A bigger gift.
4-0 start for UConn. In the meeting in Dallas a couple of weeks ago, UConn led 26-2 at the end of the first quarter. They came out on fire. They held SMU to 1 of 17 shooting in that first quarter, and they forced a turnover this trip.
Yeah, and Travis Mays told me before the game, you know, we got ourselves into such a hole. And then played them pretty evenly the rest of the way. Just can't get ourselves in that kind of hole today.
Kia Nurse will head to the free throw line as UConn attacks the basket.
Great recognition by Nurse that the defense there, Perry came out and overplayed. And, you know, you have to be in sync with your teammate to be able to make that pass to the flashing back cut, and then you saw the foul. But nice aggressive play.
Travis Mays in his first year as SMU's head coach, 13 wins, has matched the win total from last year's SMU team.
He's completely changing the culture here. It's going to take a little while, but he likes what he's seen so far.
Thrown into the corner, grabbed by Adams. And there's the first 2 for Froling. The only player in the conference averaging a double-double. 15 points a game, good for 12th in the conference, 10.5 rebounds, leads the conference. And Froling has a rebound.
Froling is the leader of this team, and she's doing it on the court as well as in the locker room.
Turnover. Collier to the basket.
You know, we talked a lot about Collier's offense off the top of the show. Well, how about her defense? Let's remember back to the beginning of the year when Gino said she couldn't guard anybody. There, a great steal and a fast break layup.
Nurse touched it last. It'll be SMU basketball.
Gabby Williams battling in that low post, taking away the big guy down there, Stephanie Collins.
There is Collins battling with Gabby Williams. Gabby pulled her arm out.
Good help there from Samuelson as well.
And there's another steal by Collier. Up ahead to Nurse. SMU sprinting back in transition. Samuelson getting the start for UConn, and a blocking foul is called on SMU.
Now, Travis Mays is trying to say she was there. She wasn't quite there. It was close. He's pleading his case nonetheless.
Calmly.
Yeah, that guy's not going to lose his cool. He's just too cool. One of my favorite coaches in this league.
So here is Katie Lou. We'll have an eye on her minutes here today as she goes 1 for 2 from the free throw line. looked pretty good at shoot-around this morning, and as we mentioned just a couple of moments ago, took part in everything in the pregame. There's Bolton blasting by Chong to the basket.
And Gino's got his hands up like, what are we doing? Stop the ball.
Where's the help? Williams to Nurse. Nurse sets and fires short on the three. Another rebound for Froling. Perry got by Sanaya Chung. SMU trying to show some speed here. They've converted on a couple of field goals to make it a three-point game. Williams dropped it down to Nurse, who couldn't hold on to the pass. And a turnover for Connecticut.
Yeah, there was a little bit of a force. And then check that out, nobody stopped the ball. And then again, Chong getting beat defensively. Nice take to the basket by Perry.
Deja Thomas, sophomore out of Dallas, comes into the game for SMU as Froling goes to the bench. Collins trying to post up on Collier. Little jump hook is good. Well, a lot different from the first meeting when UConn blew SMU out in the first quarter. SMU battling back here, making a one-point game.
Travis Mays is too good of a coach to let his team duplicate the same errors time and again.
Well, the first miss in a couple of games for Collier. Gabby Williams read that pass, took it away, has Nurse on her left, has Chong on her right, almost traveled. Samuelson for three.
You hear the crowd's reaction to Samuelson knocking down the three. She's been cold of late.
Last two games, 3 of 18 from outside the three-point line. But Gino Auriemma is saying today, look, she hasn't felt great. And as you know, Meg, if you don't have your legs, if you don't have everything clicking and you're a shooter, your shot's going to be way off. And that's what we've seen with Samuelson.
And as she has even said recently, you know what, I got good shots, they were good looks, they're just not going in. So I don't see her changing anything.
Bolton stepped back three to beat the shot clock. Caught iron, and that's going to be a foul called on Kiera Perry. Or perhaps not. Maybe they're saying it's off of Perry. Mays thought for sure that it had touched Connecticut last. So no foul. It will be Connecticut basketball. 5:01 to go in the first quarter.
Yeah, I thought Perry lucky that that foul wasn't called on her. I thought they could have got her with a bump.
I was right the first time. It was a foul.
Okay,
on Perry.
okay. Makes sense.
You're right, I'm right. Collier, that's what Meg touched on at the top of the telecast. She gets to the spot, she gets it, it's over.
And a good pass in there from Chong, too.
Perry on the floor playing with two fouls. Michaela Reese into the game for SMU. Here's Thomas on the drive, and Gabby Williams going to get called for the foul. That will get us to our first timeout. Gabby disagrees with a smile, but she did get whistled for the personal foul. 4:26 to go in the first quarter. UConn on the defensive end. As we've seen over these last few weeks, turning the defense into offense up in the first. UConn women's basketball on SNY is brought to you by Subaru of New England, supplying all-wheel drive vehicles with a passion for winter adventure. By Connecticut Lighting Centers and Restoration Lighting Gallery, so much more than just a lighting store. And by Mercedes-Benz, the best or nothing. Got about 1.5 inches of snow here overnight after getting a foot earlier in the week, and sounds like we're going to get more in the foot coming up tomorrow and Monday. UConn by 6 here in the first quarter. Let's send it over to Justine Ward. Hello, Justine.
Hey there, Eric. Well, at the beginning of the season, Gino Auriemma said it was unclear who would be the real leader on this team. And I spoke with him yesterday about this topic, and he said right now that person is Kia Nurse. We see Kia out there on the floor chatting with the younger players. I asked Kia if it's something she enjoys. She's always been the younger player on some of her teams, and she said, I'm loving it. They come to me for advice. I just do the best that I can and help them out when I'm able to. Guys?
Well, she's got so much experience, Justine. Remember her freshman year, her first start came in Game 3 against Creighton after the Stanford loss. She was the only Husky to start every game last year, and she came in as the preseason conference player of the year, so she's got a lot of experience. And maybe using her voice a little bit more here in her junior year.
Yeah, I mean, and that I see it happening with women more than men. Women feel a little bit more comfortable the older they get being more vocal, but so much of Kia's vocalness is because of her vocal nature. I mean, just her personality. She's a fun-loving, upbeat kid.
Collier too strong in the three-pointer. Devery Owens into the game. The up quick to Thomas. Well, SMU has gotten down the court here a couple of times. Thomas now with 4. Williams rolls off to the basket. Great recovery by Thomas on the defensive end, and then Williams throws it off of Owens. Tell you what, this is a much different SMU team than we saw 3 weeks ago in Dallas.
And in between now and then in that game, they've had some struggles. And Travis Mays was telling me there was some confidence issues. They were really down. And they have slowly worked their way back.
Nurse can't handle the pass. Turnover by Connecticut.
And he's done a masterful job as they turn it over here. Mays has done a masterful job as a coach. He told me, he said, you know, if I was a younger, more inexperienced coach, I may have panicked. He said, but I've seen it before, and you got to just stay strong and stay together. And he's doing an incredible job.
As we talked about during UConn's trip to Dallas, Mays, outstanding player at Texas, and looks like he could still go play for the Longhorns if he had any eligibility left. Katie Lou Samuelson now with 6 points. 16-12. Again, in that first meeting, UConn outscored SMU 26-2 in the first quarter. They held SMU to 1 of 17 shooting in the first 10 minutes. SMU has gone to the bench.
UConn in his zone that possession, which was interesting.
Nurse Samuelson calling for it. Abby Williams skies for the rebound and puts it back in.
A well-deserved ovation from this appreciative crowd. Just enjoying her athleticism.
Three-pointer. Off the mark. Thomas battling on the boards, but it's won by Samuelson. Samuelson with her head up. Williams going to get called for the foul. Tried to kick it into the corner, but contact.
How about this anticipation of that rebound coming off? No blue jerseys blocking out number 15. You got to know where Williams is at all time.
That's 2 personal fouls on Gabby. And Natalie Butler getting up off the bench. She'll come in next dead ball. SMU has won their last 2 games. Bolton launches a 3. Thomas has been all over the floor since coming off the bench. Tie up, jump ball, possession arrow, UConn. So Williams goes to the bench with the 2 fouls as Butler is into the game. Also in for SMU is Clara Bradshaw, the 6'6" redshirt senior, transfer from TCU. UConn ran a beautiful play to get Katie Lou Samuelson free for the layup.
UConn screaming out 5 on the defensive end, back at a man-to-man, and they switch on every exchange.
Reese too strong. Butler the rebound. The outlet on the money to Nurse. Nurse Samuelson. Double figures for Katie Lou Samuelson. I'll have what she's taking to feel better.
Exactly. To think she wasn't going to play.
Lost out of bounds. SMU losing their poise here a little bit. UConn's gone on a run to 15-point lead.
Let's go!
Yeah, they've had a couple of those unforced error turnovers where they just throw it out of bounds, and you can't afford to make those kinds of mistakes at all. Certainly not against the best team in the country.
Cameron Mickens, a senior, into the game, number 24 for SMU. Butler. Collier to Nurse. Nurse. Picked up by Owens. SMU will slow things down. Under a minute to play in the first quarter. Feed inside, Collier knocked it onto the court, and the jump ball, possession arrow, SMU, 6 on the shot clock. Samuelson with 10 first quarter points to lead the Huskies in scoring. She's played the entire quarter, as has Chong, Nurse, and Collier. And Natalie Butler is going to get called for the foul, as Adams was launching a three-pointer. So 3 free throws coming up for Adams. Fouling a jump shooter will set any coach into a bad mood. That includes the coach I'm looking at across the court right now, and you're looking at.
Well, those are the ones that make coaches crazy. And even just the way Butler half-heartedly put her hand down to help the kid up, she knew she was disappointed in herself for making that kind of mistake.
We are not showing you a replay. This is actually what has happened. Live shot now coming up for air. Collier for Butler. Butler turns. Kia Nurse tipped it, but into the hands of Mickens. Shot clock is turned off. SMU will slow things down and hold for a final shot. Thomas trying to drive on Collier. Bradshaw's shot is short. Sanaya Chong with the rebound. Chance for a final shot here. Nurse made the extra pass. Should have taken the shot, but it's a lead for UConn at the end of the first quarter. An 8-point lead this time around in front of a big crowd here on a Saturday afternoon at Gamble Pavilion. UConn never trailed in the first quarter. They lead 22-14 after 1. You're watching UConn basketball on SNY. UConn 8 of 17 from the field in the first quarter, taking a 22-14 lead into quarter number 2. Let's check in with Meg for a look at Colemo's Court Vision, brought to you by Yale New Haven Health.
Watch the way Katie Lou is being face guarded. Now watch her. They're trying to keep her from getting the ball, obviously, but a wonderful screen there by Butler to open her up, and not enough help by the other blue jerseys. They're trying to mix up defensively the way they guard UConn, and they were face guarding Samuelson, just trying to keep her from catching the ball, because once she catches it, she's deadly.
4 of 5 from the field in the first quarter for Samuelson. The rest of the team was 4 for 12. UConn basketball to start the second quarter. Alicia Froling back into the game for SMU, playing with 2 fouls. Williams on the bench for UConn with the 2 fouls. And a traveling violation. That will be turnover number 4 for Connecticut. Collier and Froling battling.
Yeah, very physical in the lane.
Collier on the switch, out to guard Mickens. And Kia Nurse got a hand in on that pass and knocked it away. 2-on-2 the other way. Nurse short on the pull-up. Samuelson couldn't grab it. SMU basketball.
Although the shot was short, I thought it was a good decision by Nurse to shoot it, because SMU was not stopping her with the ball.
Mickens. Bradshaw comes in and gets the putback. Averaging 3 points a game. Known for her shot blocking, but getting some points for UConn. Samuelson. Well, she drew a crowd and somehow still scored. 12 points now for Katie Lou. seconds. Butler came out to help. Nurse tipped it out of bounds. And the officials will change the call and give the ball to UConn.
I thought it went off of Kia Nurse. Let's take a look. It did go off Kia Nurse. A little home call for the Huskies.
Gabby Williams back into the game as Sanaya Chong goes to the bench. Even though Katie Lou Samuelson has had a very good first half, it just seems like UConn is out of sync on the offensive end as they turn it over again. Had a good 2-minute stretch. And if you're struggling on offense, do something on defense.
That's right. Well, I think you have to give SMU credit. They're making it difficult on the defensive end for UConn to run their offense.
Oh, pretty good catch by Collier. She had the big mismatch on Owens, and Owens committed the foul. Well, I think this would normally be the time that we would see Crystal Dangerfield come in and run the point, but by the sounds of it, she had an up and down week in practice, so maybe a little extra time before she gets into the game. Crystal's been riding that freshman roller coaster.
She's got to remember she's not the only one to ride it, you know?
Adams out of the scramble, can't get it, and there's Gabby Williams. Just love how Gabby gets the rebound, puts the ball on the floor, just pushes, finds the open player, and that's Kia Nurse.
Always a great thing on the break to dribble into the lane and then kick out to someone beyond the three-point line. Difficult to stop.
11-point lead for UConn.
Good defense inside by Williams, wisely using her body with her hands in the air to take the position away from SMU.
Collier, Williams, and it's going to be a foul on Natalie Butler. That will be her second personal foul.
Now, knowing what she wants to do, dribbling in, drawing the defense. See that Drew, number 1, came in the lane to stop the ball, and that freed up out on that perimeter Kia Nurse.
Six and a half to go. Sanaya Chong back into the game for UConn as Butler goes to the bench. Out of control is Bolton. She took a tumble. Nurse to Gabby Williams.
Picture perfect fast break.
Things have settled down a little bit since Williams came back into the game. Remember, she picked up 2 personal fouls in the first quarter. Adams can't get the 3. Samuelson rips down the rebound. Sanaya Chong. Nurse bats it, and Bradshaw just using that length. Just keeping it alive for SMU. SMU looking for a quick 3, and getting it is Michaela Reese. 10th three-pointer she's made this season, averaging 3 points a game. Travis Mays has just gone deep into his bench. He's brought in a ton of players. Kia Nurse trying to take control of this possession for UConn. On the back cut, that's Williams to Samuelson.
Never give up on the play. Always make those cuts. If you're patient and stay with it, even when things looked out of sorts, smart play by Samuelson. Just follow your instincts and just cut to the basket.
Bradshaw tried to return it to Reese. Nurse was there defensively. Turnover for SMU. That will be their 10th turnover. That will get us to our 5-minute timeout. It comes with 4:58 to go in the second quarter. Gabby Williams was looking for Katie Lou Samuelson before she even had the pass from Nurse, and Samuelson finished. 31-19, UConn in the second quarter. One of those players is in the building here today, and if I talk long enough, you'll get an idea. Number 23 is here in the building. Here's Justine.
Here she is, Maya Moore. Now, Maya, you're staying through Monday for the big game. How exciting is it for you as an alum to watch something like this?
This is so exciting just to be able to be here. You know, we're so busy during the season overseas, but to be here finally at such an exciting time for the girls is so sweet.
And you were a big part of that 90-game winning streak. What's it been like sitting in the back seat for this one?
Yeah, it's really been amazing. I can relate a lot to these ladies and just the run that they're going on, the amount of focus that it takes, and, you know, every night people wanting to gun you down. So just proud of the way they've overcome and continue to rise to the occasion.
And when you were a part of that, how did you play through that pressure?
Well, it's one of those things where you don't even realize kind of what's happening until you look up and you realize what's happening. And so the name of the game is focus. You try to block out all the extra hype and attention, as fun as it may be for some, but you really just have to stay focused on every possession, and you look up and you've made history.
You said there are no surprises when it comes to Coach Auriemma. Why are you so confident in his abilities as a coach?
Well, he's been at this for a really long time. Just someone who's so experienced, someone who's just so passionate. I think the investment that he puts into his players shows on the court and for years to come. So just so glad to have had him as a coach and continue to support him.
And lastly, what impresses you the most about this current team?
I am happy to say when I continue to watch these ladies play that they play the same way we do as far as the passion, the team unity, the selflessness, the competitiveness. So that's what I'm most pleased about, is they're winning, but they're still winning the way we know is the best way to win.
What is it about UConn that prepares its players so well to play in the WNBA and overseas?
Yeah, the attention to detail. You know, every single day you get picked on, but when you're on the court and you're ready to go, you feel more prepared than any player, any team, because you put in the work with the details and the preparation. So that preparation element, it stays with you for the rest of your career and beyond.
All right, all about the prep. Thank you so much, Maya. We'll see you soon. Eric, back to you.
Justine, thanks. Member of the 3,000-point club here at UConn. It's a membership of one. There she was. Oh, great finish. Gabby Williams and the foul, a chance for a three-point play.
Well,
The team has felt different with Gabby on the floor here today. She seems to be one of the key pieces, even though Samuelson's played well too.
Yeah, I mean, Gabby just does so much for this team on both ends of the floor, but the nice pass in there from Samuelson, getting sandwiched from the two SMU defenders, and her strength to be able to get it up. Doesn't knock down the free throw, but comes away with two.
So Maya's here today. It's a Saturday game, and then, of course, the 9 p.m. game on Monday. And you were saying there's going to be a lot of UConn alums in the building
great. You
here
know,
this Monday.
it's great to see Maya here, but it's amazing how many of these players come back year after year after year. And there's as we look at Maya's, just her stellar stats. I mean, it's hard to find something that Maya didn't accomplish, didn't do well.
And great to see her here supporting this team, even though it was a couple of years since she played. And she made a great point to Justine. This team is carrying on the way that Maya and her teammates played, and Maya was carrying on the groundwork that was laid by, you name the player who came before. Back to your days, Meg, too. So it's just been a continuation.
Well, and the consistency is Gino and Chris Daly. They're the ones who have been here throughout it all. You see the Huskies of Honor, which Chris Daly got into last year. It's a pretty accomplished wall up there. And a very tight-knit group of women once they leave here, because you never really leave.
Deep three. Collins picked it up, and she was fouled. So Stephanie Collins go to the free throw line. The foul on Nafisa Collier. Stay with us at halftime. Gary and Kara will be back. They'll have the first half recap, plus find out which milestone UConn may never break on the halftime show presented by your local Ford dealer. I would like to know the answer to that, because I think people thought, well, they'll never break their 90-game winning streak, yet here we are at 98 wins and counting. 2:40 to go in the first half. UConn hasn't been able to extend their lead to a big margin. Samuelson leading the way in scoring for Connecticut. And rebound grab by SMU.
SMU doing a nice job boxing out there, keeping the white jerseys off the boards.
Amara Brandt into the game for SMU for the first time. Collins, good feet by Froling, couldn't finish. Brandt came up with a loose ball, no reset of the shot clock. Boltman's miss is rebounded by Williams. 6 rebounds now for Gabby Williams. Samuelson. 3 more for Katie Lou Samuelson. 17 points on 7 of 9 shooting in the first half. And Katie Lou gets a steal. Throws it up, leading Kia Nurse perfectly. Count it in the foul. Great job by Katie Lou Samuelson. The question a few hours ago was, well, is Katie Lou going to play? Not only has she played, she's been outstanding on both ends of the floor.
She's played really well. Perfect pass. And that was almost a dangerous foul on Kia Nurse by Bolton, hitting, just pushing her in the small of the back. Those are plays where kids get hurt.
Well, so much for minutes being limited. She has played every minute here in the first half. She is taking more shots than anybody. She has made more shots than anybody. She has 4 rebounds and 2 assists to go along with her 17 points.
We're seeing a new level of toughness on Samuelson this year. If you remember, she threw up in the Maryland game.
And that's going to be a foul on Brandt after she had missed the 3-pointer. UConn's fabulous February home schedule includes that top showdown against South Carolina on Monday night. Pick your seats and print it home at UConnTickets.com. Well, you know, there's that knock that sometimes players like Katie Lou Samuelson, you come from California, and there were some moments last year that Gino Auriemma would remark that he thought Katie Lou had a little bit of an edge. Of course, you come from a competitive family with the way her sisters have played. And he said there was a toughness inside her that he was trying to bring out, like that little bit of a snarl to her game. Maybe fighting through illness or injury has been one of the ways that Katie Lou has shown
and there's no other coach who challenges their players the way that Gino Auriemma does. And he brings it out of you. You may not like him through the process, but he brings out the best in his players.
Kia Nurse getting on the floor for the loose ball. That's Gabby Williams with a Brady-esque pass to Julian Edelman, played by Katie Lou Samuelson.
Edelman just got taller, huh?
Yeah, by about 5 inches.
But tremendous hustle. But how about this? And Samuelson did a good job coming back for the ball.
I think Gabby threw off her wrong foot as well and still got everything on it to put it on the money down to Katie Lou. Add that to the Gabby Williams is a great athlete highlight reel.
Quite a full reel.
$19 points for Katie Lou Samuelson. Final minute of the second quarter. Collier got a hand in there, and that's going to be a charge taken by Katie Lou Samuelson.
On the near steal by Collier, the loose ball picked up by SMU, and you see the low shoulder there by Thomas. Dare I say, a little bit of dramatics by Samuelson.
That is part of the Hollywood right there, sure.
California, right?
Chong. Kia Nurse. Picked up by Adams. Shot clock turned off. Adams, the number 2 scorer on this team, has been held without a point in the first half. There's Collier knocking it away. Plenty of time here for Kia Nurse. Nurse to Samuelson. Samuelson travel.
It's a smart play by Nurse to find Samuelson, try to find the 3-point shooter, get the biggest bang for your buck. Samuelson just a little too quick with it and dragged that foot with the travel.
4.1 to go in the first half. pushed up by Mickens. Mickens, good if it goes, and it's off the mark. Well, at the end of the half, UConn has doubled up SMU, but it was a half that went in fits and starts for the Huskies. But one thing was consistent, and that was the play of Katie Lou Samuelson. 19 points on 7 of 9 shooting. She played all 20 minutes. Collier played all 20 minutes. Nurse played all 20 minutes. Williams picked up a couple of fouls in the quarter, played 16 minutes. Here's Gino with Justine.
Gino, we know Katie Lou's been under the weather. What did you see from her in this first half?
Well, she's the only one that can make any shots. So whether she's under the weather, beside the weather, or over the weather, it doesn't matter. You know, until somebody else starts knocking in shots, you know, take some pressure off of her, which I hope happens in the second half. I mean, it's not like other guys aren't getting shots, but we need some other people to make some.
How do you establish a better rhythm offensively in the second half?
Yeah, we're a little bit, you know, Kia's really struggling right now. So, you know, when your guards are struggling a little bit, there's not a lot of flow to our offense, and then you can tell because we don't have a lot of opportunities to offensive rebound because, you know, we come down and it's one pass shot and it's not. We're just not in our rhythm right now.
Why have we seen Crystal Dangerfield yet?
I don't know.
All right, Gino, thank you. Eric, back to you.
Let's play Stump Gino. Justine, you win. That's the end of the first half. Katie Lou Samuelson was 7 of 9 from the field. The rest of the team of 9 of 24 from the field. UConn up 22. Halftime report. Gary and Karen next. UConn women's basketball on SNY is brought to you by Trantolo and Trantolo, Connecticut's personal injury law firm. Save time, call 9. By Toyota, hurry into your local Toyota dealer for President's Day specials. Toyota, let's go places. And by Bob's Discount Furniture, proud to be the official furniture store of the UConn Huskies. Coach Randy Edsall is back and ready to lead UConn football to the future. Be part of the excitement. Get your season tickets today. Reserve your seats now at UConnTickets.com. First half stats are presented by Bob's Discount Furniture. Struggle from outside the three-point line for SMU, 1 of 12 from beyond the arc, 26% overall in the first half. And they turned the ball over 15 times, and UConn converted 15 turnovers into 19 points. Eric and Megan back with you here courtside at Full House at Gamble Pavilion. It was not the best half for UConn. It's a good thing for the Huskies that Katie Lou Samuelson looks like she's 100% because far and away she's been their best player.
Yeah, I mean, Gino even said it to Justine in that interview there at halftime. You know, she's scoring. She's not only is she scoring from the outside, but, you know, she's moving well without the basketball. And that's a part of her game that has gotten so much better. She's so aggressive. She's strong. There you see her upper body strength. But, you know, it's nice for UConn to know that Old Faithful is still there. The long-range 3 is going down.
Or young faithful, since she's just a sophomore, but you know, Gino does the eye roll once in a while when you talk about, well, we can't afford to lose this player, and you see what she did in the first half. And when talking this morning about, well, maybe Katie Lou Samuelson can't play. She didn't practice Friday, almost a game day decision. Think about taking her out of the mix and someone you can count on to score even when she's not 100%. That is a frightening thing to ponder. But she's looked good in the first half.
The margin for error for this team is so small with her. Imagine what it is without her.
UConn basketball to start the second half. Right over to Samuelson. And that's going to be a foul on SMU. Kia Nurse got moved off the block by Kara Perry. Well, I'm glad Justine asked about Crystal Dangerfield because you and I were looking at each other during the first half saying, well, we haven't seen Dangerfield. She's healthy? Is she in that freshman doghouse? Gino's answer was, I don't know, and that was it.
Yeah,
we can't much other than that.
To me, that says she's in the doghouse, and she's not the first freshman to occupy that doghouse.
Rolling throws it over to Adams. Perry's the one who comes away with the rebound. And reset here for SMU. Good hands by Nafisa Collier to reach in on Stephanie Collins. Tie up possession arrow SMU. Nafisa was 2 of 6 from the field, or is 2 of 6 from the field right now.
Nice job getting her hands in the passing lanes, disrupting that play.
So if her shot is off, she's going to come up with other ways to make plays, and a tie-up this time by Gabby Williams. UConn possession. I don't know if he'll go into the books as a sellout officially, but it's pretty close, and everyone on their feet here at Gamble. Now they can take their seat as Collier gets the first points of the second half for UConn.
Yeah, I think folks around these parts really like the 2 o'clock Saturday game. They've had real good attendance on the weekend day games.
Adams can't get the three. It's another rebound for Perry. Froling. Perry. She's gotten a couple of offensive rebounds here in the second half. She comes up with her first field goal since halftime. Now 4 points for the redshirt junior. Tough pass for Collier to handle, but Samuelson is there to pick it up, and Perry almost took it away. That was a long, lazy pass from Nurse, and Gina Oriema staring her down right now.
Yeah, I don't know how much of this, SMU playing good defense or UConn just not passing the ball as crisply as we have seen them.
Collier kicks it out. Sanaya Chong knocks down the three-pointer.
We have seen Sanaya Chong time and time again this year, Eric, make big shots when her team needs it. Now, is that a big shot in the context of the game? Not necessarily. However, they hadn't played well, and it was really good timing.
A steal for Samuelson, thrown up to Nurse. Gabby Williams floats to the basket for 2 more. Double figures for Gabby Williams. 11 points go along with 7 rebounds and 2 assists. Adams forced to take a tough shot. Samuelson tried to knock it away. Froling has her shot blocked by Nafisa Collier. It'll be SMU basketball.
There, Collier just coming over, hands straight up. I was surprised they didn't call a foul on Collier.
Nafisa moving into the lead in the conference in block shots. Now with 43 on the season. Perry comes off the screen.
Nice read by Perry to curl around that screen with the defense trailing.
She struggled last time out against UCF, scored just 2 points, was 0 of 7 from the field, but has done okay here today with 6 points. Nurse can't hit, and that's Collier getting the rebound and getting fouled by Morgan Bolton.
Really nice skip pass from inside the lane over to the corner with Kia Nurse. The defense can't take away the inside and that opposite corner both at the same time.
Chong drops it down to Collier, who took her time, sized up the shot, knocked it down. She's in the double figures now at 10. 1 rebound shy of another double-double. Perry, the entry to Collins. Good help by Kia Nurse, forcing Collins to miss. Samuelson. There's Sanaya Chong saving it, and Gabby Williams helping out as well. Nurse calls for it. Chong, open. Gabby Williams tracks down another loose ball. Samuelson will try another 3, and this one will drop.
What helped open that up was Gabby Williams just bumping the defender, a little screen to give Samuelson the half-second she needed.
Well, one of many things that Gabby Williams did that trip down the floor for Connecticut. Tracking down a loose ball on 2 occasions. Collier has the rebound. She has a double-double, her 9th double-double this season. Good find. Nurse from Sanaya Chong.
Yeah, spectacular pass from Chong.
Things flowing a little bit better for UConn. They have stretched it out to a 32-point lead, thanks to outscoring SMU 14-4 here in the third quarter. Samuelson, Chong, Nurse, UConn rolling. Timeout on the floor. UConn stretched it out to a 58-26 lead here in the third quarter against SMU, doing the little things right here in the third quarter, especially Gabby Williams.
Well, you know, it's the hustle plays that make the biggest difference, and Chong had a piece of that. But the tremendous hustle by Williams, which won't necessarily show up in the stat sheet. Now, what will show up here is an assist, but you see just a little bump on that defender gave Samuelson the time to get that shot off. Those are the little things that Gabby Williams does, and does them often.
The line for Gabby, 11 points, 9 rebounds, 3 assists, 3 steals. SMU took the timeout. They'll bring it up court. Kyla Irwin into the game for the first time for UConn as Katie Lou Samuelson heads to the bench. Perry has had the hot hand here in the second half. 8 points for Kiera Perry. She's now 4 of 6 from the field this afternoon. Williams. There's Collier. Oh, a little clash of heads maybe, as maybe the shoulder of Collins, but Nafisa Collier saw her head bounce back, but she bounces right back up. Hold your breath anytime there's something like that with this year's team. Timeout on the floor, 4:59 to go in the third quarter. UConn by 30. Best way to stay on top of all things UConn. That includes news, game recaps, press conferences, exclusive interviews, and more, is by logging on to SNYUConn.com. It's presented by Mercedes-Benz, part of the SNY.TV blog network. And Mercedes-Benz brings us today's UConn trivia question. When was the last time UConn scored 90 points or more in 7 consecutive games? We will have the answer for you coming up in just a little bit. Out of the 5-minute media timeout, it's Chong, Williams, Collier, Irwin, and Nurse for top-ranked UConn, trying to improve to 24-0 on the season. On the drive, Irwin got a hand on the rebound. No reset of the shot clock. Chong made some contact, nothing called. Batted out to Kia Nurse. Nafisa Collier, after going 10 for 10 against Cincinnati last time out, is 4 for 9 here today. A foul called on SMU. Let's send it back over to Justine.
Eric, the energy has been really good in these last 2 huddles. Gino's been very impressed with how hard they've been working defensively. As far as the offense goes, he wants a presence in the lane. He wants them to chase after those offensive boards. And for his big guys, he told them, guys, screen first, then look for the ball. If you're not shooting, get it out. He wants the ball movement, and he wants it to be quick. Guys?
Thank you, Justine. A tie-up, possession arrow UConn, as Crystal Dangerfield set to check in for the first time this afternoon. Kia Nurse will head to the bench.
It's not easy to be a freshman and play for Gino Auriemma. She's getting stuff thrown at her that she could never have imagined coming out of high school.
Sanaya Chong knocks down her second three-pointer of the game.
Hey, Sanaya went through her struggles as a freshman. Every great player that has come here has had struggles as a freshman. Crystal could talk to Shea Ralph. She got benched her freshman year.
Mickens. Entry to Collins. And another tie-up. I don't need to tell you the possession arrow goes with SMU, because it feels like the possession arrow flips every 30 seconds. It'll be SMU ball. 3:32 to go in the third quarter, and a foul is called Irwin as Froling went down.
Yeah, Froling tried to set a screen, and Irwin just said, I'll go through you.
Kiera Perry has gone to the bench for SMU. She has 4 personal fouls. Froling. Collins got a hand on it. Back out to Froling. Entry to Collins, batted away by Gabby Williams. Gabby's giving up a few inches here to Collins on the inside.
But thanks to her quickness, she can get around inside front.
UConn will not be the tallest team on the floor here on Monday when they take on South Carolina. Asia Wilson, 6'5". Elena Coates, 6'4". That'll be an interesting part of Monday night's matchup here at Gamble.
Not the first time. Remember, they played Baylor here. Baylor with a big front line.
Gabby Williams leans in. Collins gets the break, the block, and it'll be UConn basketball with 19 to shoot.
I like the poise here and patience. Okay, going right, but smart defensive play by Collins. The height advantage, just put up the arm and block it.
Collier's 3 is off the mark. Froling picks it up. Collier knocked it away, got on the floor trying to get the loose ball, and they're going to call a tie-up. And the possession arrow pointing SMU's way.
Got whacked in the face as she dove down there in between those SMU bodies. Watch this, just diving down. She grabbed her nose immediately. Doesn't seem to be badly hurt, but got to give her credit for the great hustle.
Froling calling for it. And a 3-second violation. Froling driving on Irwin. Kia Nurse into the game as Gabby Williams led to the bench. I think Gabby really made a difference today, even though Samuelson was putting up the points. When she came back into the game second quarter, it felt like the game was very disjointed, and she did, like you talked about, Meg, she did a lot of little things second quarter into the third quarter. Seemed to settle Connecticut down.
Yeah, she brings an energy about her, and I think a confidence to her team.
11 points, 9 rebounds, 4 assists. Collier trying to muscle her way to the basket. Sanaya Chong knocks down one more three-pointer. Double figures now for Sanaya with 11. Now 3 for 6 from outside the three-point line.
Just so steady. Sanaya Chong has been very steady this year, and that would not have been a word I would have used her previous 3 years.
Mickens had it knocked away by Collier. Three-pointer missed by Adams. Adams is fouled.
Collier gets it blocked, but stayed with it. And wide open out there in the corner. Sanaya Chong. There she is.
Adams to shoot 2. 3 points now for Adams as Nafisa Collier will head to the bench. Natalie Butler into the game. Nafisa with a double-double. 10 points, 13 rebounds. Also had 3 assists. You wonder what the quick turnaround to, Meg, with the game coming up on Monday night, if we've seen the last of Samuelson and Williams and Collier for the afternoon.
I would think so.
Kia Nurse. 12 points now for Kia.
Just more steady play from Kia. And, you know, just one more note on Sanaya Chong. Yeah, 3 of 6 from three-point range today, but 5 assists and no turnovers. Continues to take care of the basketball with that incredible assist-to-turnover ratio.
Adams can't score. Irwin rips it away and hands it off to Dangerfield. So that's 87 assists this season, 19 turnovers for Sanaya. She can't hit for 2, and the rebound for Froling.
kind of been determined to take the ball to the basket, goes coast to coast for 2. She's been held in check, 4 points. Leading scorer for this team, averaging 15 a game. And the entry pass intended for Irwin, heads out of bounds. We will be with you in spirit on Monday night, but our next SNY telecast will come up from the Big Easy, New Orleans, as the Huskies take on Tulane. Next Saturday, our coverage begins 6:30 Eastern time with the pregame show right here on SNY. Reese goes over the top. Bradshaw can't hit. Rebound for Natalie Butler. Shot clock is turned off. Final seconds of quarter number 3. Dangerfield, good little pass to Butler, who couldn't score.
I like that move by Butler, even though it got blocked. She didn't put her on the floor, not a lot of extraneous movements, just go to the basket. You know, there's 2. She's not used to playing against 6'3" and 6'5".
4.4 to go. Chong, cross half court, gets it off. And that is the end of the third quarter. UConn outscored SMU 22-10 in the third quarter. And they head to quarter 4 up big here on the Play for K game at Gamble Pavilion. UConn closing in on 99 in a row. They're in the fro zone. .34 lead for number 1 UConn heading to the fourth quarter. Looks like Gabby Williams will be a spectator the rest of the way. UConn is not big, but they make up for that by being quick against bigger teams. With South Carolina scheduled Monday, this is the kind of thing you're going to have to see against the Gamecocks.
You watch her down below against the taller Collins at 6'5", and you know she's got to be careful to not get stuck behind, but she tried, you know, got to get around the side. Good help there from Samuelson. And as they switch on so many screens, she's really good at getting to the spot before the offensive play, or using her body and keeping her hands up so the refs don't call the foul. She's incredibly gifted, but her quickness and jumping ability is what helps her to guard these taller players, because she gets around the side as opposed to just standing behind them.
So the score by quarters, UConn very good defensively. They held SMU to 17% shooting in the second quarter, 22% shooting in the third quarter. So while on offense, they really haven't been in sync throughout this entire game as Butler scores in the turnaround to get her first points. Defense has carried them here today.
And we've seen that a few times over the years, haven't we?
Dangerfield, Irwin, Chong, Nurse, and Butler, the 5 on the floor for UConn. Bolton, the miss. Dangerfield throws it up. Perfect pass to Chong. Nurse trailing will head to the free throw line. That was perfect pass by Crystal Dangerfield, getting Sanaya Chong in stride. And it'll end in a trip to the free throw line for Kia Nurse.
Third foul, first on the team. Kia Nurse, 2.
So 2 free throws for Kia Nurse, 3 for 3 from the line. 3 of 4 from the line this afternoon. Second in the conference in free throw shooting.
Look at those bruises on Natalie Butler's shins. Good God.
Well, I mean, it's the annual Wear Pink Day, so I mean, there's shades of pink there in that big bruise on her right leg. She's been bruised up. That's not the first time we've had a shot of her.
It's just an unusual spot on her shin. Yeah, her arms are usually bruised. It's physical in there.
Looks like she's pulled out some of the knee pads from the Rosati collection.
Yeah, for sure.
Stuck in a closet here at stores.
Maybe she went sledding on Thursday down Horsebarn Hill.
Shot clock violation, more good defense for UConn. Even if you've got reserve players in there, there's no letting up on that end of the court. And Molly Bent will come in for the first time this afternoon. That's it for Kia Nurse. Bumpy ride in the first half for Kia, and Gino Auriemma touched upon that during his halftime interview with Justine, but
yeah, he said she was just really struggling right now.
felt like a better second half for Nurse. She ends up with 13 points, 4 assists. Foul called on SMU as Froling will come back into the game. Let's answer our trivia question presented by Mercedes-Benz. When was the last time a UConn team scored 90 or more in 7 straight games? Got to go back to that 94-95 team. A lot of answers coming out of that 94-95 team. Froling goes down on the rebound, and another tie-up. Possession arrow, SMU. So that's the run in 94-95. The run is in jeopardy here today. Last time UConn was at SMU, they scored 88 points in that game. That's the last time they scored less than 90. They went from 98 against Tulsa, 100 against Tulane, 91 East Carolina, 91 Houston, 97 Temple, 96 against Tulsa, and then again against Cincinnati. Only 69 on the board here today because it's been a tough shooting day for UConn. Hasn't been a tough defensive day, though. Another shot clock violation, and UConn will take over. Kira Perry back into the game, along with Mackenzie Adams for SMU. Two questions we had coming into this game would be, obviously with one eye on South Carolina taking on SMU, and all due respect to SMU, but there's been so much talk about going for 100. It's this round number. You wondered if this team, UConn, would be caught up thinking about Monday. Maybe, you know. We also thought, well, let's see players in roles, getting them ready for that Monday night game. And I have to be honest, I thought we'd see more Crystal Dangerfield here today because she's going to be such a key part of the rotation for UConn, but we've seen very little of her
But
here
that
today.
shows you the genius of Gino Auriemma. He's not coaching. He could really care less about the streak or that particular game. He's trying to develop basketball players. And if he notices something in practice about one of his players or his team that he's not happy with, he is going to be consistent with his message. And obviously he wasn't happy with what he saw with Dangerfield. And she sat that first half and didn't come in to the third quarter here. And he won't sacrifice that lesson being taught for the sake of a game.
Six and a half to play. Rolling, tough shot. Rebound ripped down by Thomas. And there's Crystal Dangerfield with the rebound. Crystal trying to run. Threads the needle to Molly Bent, who made the extra pass to Natalie Butler.
Tell you what, nice pass from Bent, but you got to give credit to Dangerfield for finding Molly Bent along that baseline.
.20 assists now for UConn. They came in #1 in the country at 23.5 assists a game. Sanaya Chong with the finish.
The crafty way she finished that.
Second assist for Molly Bent. And Crystal Dangerfield gets whistled for the foul. Drive of the game presented by GMC. Crystal Dangerfield always with her head up and her eyes on her target. Give the assist to Molly Bent. If this was hockey, we give a secondary assist to
How about
Crystal.
How about that footwork there by Chong to finish that?
That's a foul on Natalie Butler. Well, I understand completely your point about a message being sent, that the big picture, the big view. I think Crystal Dangerfield is going to be an important piece if they are going to make it 100 consecutive wins. And again, that's something maybe for the fans, for the media, that we care more about than Gino Auriemma does. He kind of laughed.
He's been saying all year he expects them to lose. He wants them to lose.
Well, he was chuckling about it today. It's like, well, going for 99. It's like, well, why is that different than 98? Like we've done something insane here when you take a look at history. 2 90-game winning streaks, 90+ now. But there's just something about that 100 number that I think just has people a little bit excited. You can tell. Number of people in this building here today on a Saturday afternoon, just about a sellout. Should be a sellout on Monday night against South Carolina, depending on the weather, of course. And, a few fans have made their way to the exits here, but this was a big, loud crowd 15 minutes before the opening tip.
And there was so much positive energy about it. It's the Think Pink game, honoring Kay Yao. They honored all kinds of breast cancer survivors here. Everyone's wearing their pink. A really fun energy, wonderful celebratory mood, trying to eradicate cancer. It's been a wonderful day in that regard.
Collins, tough shot with Butler all over, and Sanaya Chong comes away with the basketball. Chong to Molly Bent. Bent for 2. Well, Molly has struggled to make shots in conference play, but thanks to the play by Sanaya Chong, she had a layup to get her first points of the afternoon. Adams trying to get away from Bent. And a foul called on Butler. That will stop the clock with 4:18 to go in the fourth quarter, and it'll give us a timeout. UConn en route to 99 in a row. Sanaya Chong getting another assist. Molly Bent with a finish for the Huskies.
Here's today's United Healthcare Trivia Challenge.
UConn closing in on a win here against SMU. Monday night, they host South Carolina, and head coach Dawn Staley thinks her team will be America's team.
I don't know how important it is. I think it's good for the game, for them to get rocked a little bit. And they played everybody. They haven't shied away from playing, tough competition. I think we're going in there in a tough environment, and we're gonna give it our best shot. Probably everybody in America is probably gonna be cheering for us. So hopefully they send positive vibes to stores.
You're going to need all the vibes you can get, I think, for that matchup on Monday night.
And I kind of laughed at Dawn's quote, like she thinks everyone in the country is rooting for them. And I'm thinking, really? I think everyone might be rooting for 100. Especially people who don't follow women's basketball.
Molly Bent with another good find, this time Natalie Butler. Tierney Lawler into the game for UConn, closing in on 4 minutes to play.
But there's plenty of people who love to root for the underdog, and there's plenty of people who are sick of Connecticut.
South Carolina 21-2 on the season. They beat Auburn on Thursday. Their 2 losses this year to Duke and to Tennessee. Very strong defensive team. We talked about their size earlier. That's batted out to Irwin.
The best thing that could probably happen as Irwin scores in the lane from her freshman teammate Molly Bent gets the assist. Eric, the best thing that can probably happen for women's basketball as a whole is for UConn to lose. And then for UConn, from their perspective, they don't have to hear about this streak anymore.
I don't sense that, and maybe I'm wrong here as Collins on the inside. I get the sense they've embraced the streak. They like it. It's something that, there's going to be a bit of a circus here on Monday night. But it's just one of those things where this group continues to add to it. Now, is it more important to stretch a streak beyond 100 at the cost of having the best team possible to compete for a national championship? Absolutely not. You take 15 losses in a season if you knew at the end of it there would be a national championship. Molly Bent has played really well off the bench here. Some of her best minutes with UConn. 5 assists so far for Bent.
Wow.
In 6 minutes.
I was just going to say, talk about making the most of your time on the floor. She and Irwin have had some nice combinations out there.
2 more for Collins. She has 9. Perry, the only player for SMU in double figures, with 10. Entry to Butler. Butler in trouble. Grabbed by Perry. Molly Bent has topped her previous career high in assists. She had 4 assists in the first meeting with SMU, so she likes playing against the Mustangs. Coming up, join Gary and Kara for the UConn Women's Basketball Post-Game Show presented by People's United Bank. It's right after we're done here in stores on SNY. Kara Perry to the free throw line. When looking at that South Carolina matchup, it seems like it's going to be a contrast of styles for Gina Auriemma's team. They like to run. They like to get in transition off the defensive end, whereas
this front line.
Wilson and Coates, we talked about that size. Wilson at 6'5", Coates 6'4". Wilson's averaging 17 points, 7 rebounds a game. Coates 14 points, 11.5 rebounds a game. I think they would slow things down and try to get into a half-court game.
Absolutely, and what we didn't see Baylor do enough in the game earlier this season when UConn beat them here is slow it down and pound it into the lane and make UConn, the undersized back line of UConn, guard them.
Pretty good job by Natalie Butler to get up a shot and score.
I like the way Butler responded on that play, because the previous possession she had like a little baby hook that she faded away and missed it because she got bumped a bit inside by Collins. There she fought.
I want to give this group credit. They've played hard since coming into the game. They've really shared the basketball well. They've moved it around. This group has played well together here.
They have, and look at Butler working hard in there. You know, almost slowing it down, keeping it simple, and not overthinking it.
The play of this group in the minutes they put in, giving that group you just saw sitting on the bench a chance to rest up a little bit. Dangerfield couldn't get it. Lawler and Irwin fighting for the basketball. Butler helping out as well. Final minute of play here at Gamble. Another tie-up. Possession arrow pointing Connecticut's way.
We've had more jump balls or tie-ups in this game today than we have probably all season combined.
Well, that was bent down, and then watch Irwin. Looks like, yeah, right on her lower back. Maybe the tailbone. That could be very painful.
She looks to be running okay. I'm not sure. Maybe she lost, maybe got the wind knocked out of her.
Lawler to Irwin. Butler looking for Lawler on the back cut. Taken away by SMU.
Yeah, it was defended well.
Well, UConn will not get to 90 points for an 8th consecutive game, but this group gave it a pretty good run. Butler will rebound. Crystal Dangerfield will take it. Crowd will make some noise here. Saluting this UConn team that has won 99 in a row with the century mark on the line Monday night here against South Carolina.
Got to give the SMU credit. Travis Mays had his team prepared and I think used a little bit of the motivation that everyone's talking about 100. He said, don't forget about number 99.
So 99 in a row and counting for top-ranked Connecticut with a big one coming up on Monday night. Our player of the game presented by People's United Bank is Katie Lou Samuelson. We weren't sure if she was going to play. We didn't think she was going to play a lot. She ended up playing 25 minutes, scored 22 points on 8 of 13 shooting to achieve player of the game status. Justine standing by with Gino.
Gino, with the exception of Katie Lou, you weren't too happy with your offense in the first half. Did they improve in the second half?
I thought we got a little bit better ball movement in the second half. I thought we got more people involved, and we did a much better job of trying to get second shots in the Fisa and Gabby especially. You know, that's what happens sometimes. Shots don't go in. You got to figure out other ways to get points on the board, and I thought the second half was way better.
99 wins in a row. How are you feeling about this team heading into Monday?
I mean, you know, it's been a long season, and you know, I just think the season is starting to at this time of the year. You know, we need a long homestand. You know, we need a lot of games at home, and then we got another trip coming up next week. But you know, we're okay. We'll be all right.
With South Carolina in mind, how did they manage the size factor in this game against SMU?
Well, that's something that we've had to battle all year long, and it takes a team effort. You know, we can't ask one of our players to, you know, to give up. That's giving up 5-6 inches to get in there and guard somebody. So it's a group effort, and for the most part, I think we did a pretty good job of it, and it's going to be an even tougher task Monday night.
All right, a quick turn for you, Gino. Thank you. Eric, back to you.
Justine, thank you very much. 9 p.m. Monday night, UConn and South Carolina. The Huskies will be undefeated heading into that matchup. They pick up their 24th win of the season after knocking off SMU here this afternoon. UConn women's basketball on SNY, brought to you by People's United Bank N.A., putting the power of know-how to work for you. By Nissan. Choose Nissan today for great offers on our most exciting lineup. Shop ChooseNissan.com. And by the Connecticut State Farm agents of the game, Anthony Raggi in stores and Tulane Carvalho in Danbury. Speak with them today. Back for a final word here from Gamble Pavilion, 99 and counting. UConn beats SMU.